There are powerful changes happening across the world. Artificial intelligence is something that we all know, which is happening. Technological changes are sweeping. The rate of change, acceleration of the change is increasing. What was a great technology yesterday is obsolete today. What was a great skill yesterday is getting obsolete today. What was a good way of doing business is getting obsolete today. And all of this is happening in a manner which makes everyone worry about their career. How can I be stable in my career? How can I be there in the workforce? Will I have even a job tomorrow? All of these are questions that are increasingly being asked by everyone. If you're not asking these questions, you should be asking these questions because these are real questions, real worries. But given these worries, what are some things which would help you to be there in the career, to go up in the corporate ladder, to ensure that you become absolutely indispensable, whichever organization that you work for? How can you do this? What kind of things would help you to do this? What kind of things, if they're there, would help you have that peace of mind? That's very important to think about. And that is what I'm going to talk about now. There are 7 things which can help you immensely. If you have these 7 things, your career graph, irrespective of what kind of technological changes which are happening, irrespective of what kind of AI which is sweeping, the career graph of yours is going to take off if these 7 things are enabled in your life. What are these 7 things? Let's jump in and see them. Number one, having the right mentor or right set of mentors or gurus. You had Lord Ram having Vasishtha and Vishwamitra to coach him, to guide him, to mentor him through all the astras, shastras, and the warfare and the strategy. If you take Lord Krishna, Krishna went to Sandipani Gurukula and he learned there. So even gods stood at the feet of gurus and learned. And only by learning from the feet of gurus, they ensured and they showed as models for the world. Coming to contemporary world, if you look at examples, Chanakya and Chandragupta Maurya, a very, very unlikely teacher in Chanakya, coached Chandragupta Maurya to capture back the kingdom. If you look at modern business world, Mukesh Ambani was coached by Dhirubhai Ambani. Anand Mahindra coached by Keshav Mahindra. So in the modern business world, you need to learn skills. You need to know the path to move on. You need to make the right choices, and they're not easy choices. The people choices to be made, strategic choices to be made, business choices to be made. They're not easy choices. If you're going to make those choices, you need a lot of mentorship, a lot of coaching, and that has to come from somebody who has been there, done that, and has the experience under the belt to coach you, guide you. And that is where coaches and gurus and guides are becoming very, very important. So, the number one enabler to my mind, find the coach, find the mentor, find the guru, not just one, but many of them. You might have guides who can teach basic skills at the workplace, the shortcuts of Excel, if I were to speak, shortcuts of PowerPoint, if I were to say. It could be as basic as that, or it could be strategic choices and how you make those choices and why those choices make sense compared to any of the choices. What are the trade offs? What comes after this? What comes after that? It is all a chase out there, and you need a coach to unravel the pieces, unravel the steps, unravel the direction that the game is going to take after the couple of moves. That is where the coaches come, that is where the mentors come. Mentors also play a bigger role in terms of helping you navigate the churning waters of that corporate life can become at some times. It's not easy to navigate those waters. It's not easy to navigate those turbulent times. And you might lose heart, you might lose patience, you might lose your sense of direction. And that is again where a mentor helps you, calm you down, show you that All things happen in this life, goes up, comes down. These turbulent times can be navigated, these turbulent waters can be navigated, and this is how to navigate that. It takes an experienced mentor to guide you through these times. So go figure out who that mentor can be. How do you figure out? Not easy, but whoever is willing to help you, whoever is interested in you as a person and not having self interest and not having hand in the pie, as I say, in their own interest. That's not the person who's the right mentor, but the mentor is a person who is genuinely interested in you, genuinely interested in your progress, and who can guide you through all of this. Who has the experience, who has a varvital, who has the patience, and who has your interest in his or her heart. He's the right person. And there are people like that, plenty of people like that. You need to find out. Ask for help, talk to people, talk to seniors, and figure out who can be the mentor. And it can be a very formal arrangement, it can be a very informal arrangement, doesn't matter what kind of arrangement it is, but go find the mentor or the mentors who can guide through all of these things. And you would love the guidance, you would blossom basis the guidance. That's the number one requirement to my mind to navigate these turbulent, changing times and ensure that your career graph stays in the upward direction. The number two enabler is hunger for growth. And whether you are displaying that hunger for growth at all times in your career. Sometimes it looks you have as if you have arrived. Sometimes it looks as if what you have is enough. Sometimes it looks you have grown and that's good enough. But remember, it's not good enough. Remember, you always need to grow. Remember that you may feel that you are satiated now, but the hunger is going to come back in the physical life after some time, after 4 hours, 5, 6 hours, after you get up from your sleep, you are going to feel hungry. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of life. And if that is the nature of the life, why should that nature be very different in the corporate life? So stay hungry. As I say, stay hungry, stay foolish all times, especially stay hungry and display that hunger for growth. People like when other people are hungry for growth, other people are hungry for next career move, hungry for growth of the company. And when that hunger is palpable, visible, you can touch and feel that hunger is when the top management loves the person because they are hungry for growth. If the company is not hungry for growth, if the company is not wanting to grow more, if the company doesn't want to become bigger, then somebody else is going to gobble up that company. That's the only truth in today's world. It's a jungle out there in many, many ways. And the only way to survive the jungle is to be very, very hungry for growth. The point is, are you hungry? And what is the level of your hunger? And are you displaying that hunger? Are you wearing it on your sleeve so that everybody knows that you are hungry for growth? That's what matters. So, number two enabler for me, hunger for growth. Number three enabler in my list is the hunger for upskilling and learning. If you're hungry for growth, that hunger for growth would automatically result in hunger for upskilling, hunger for learning on a every single day basis. Every single corporate head, whether it is Anand Mahindra of Mahindra and Mahindra, Satya Nadella of Microsoft, or Kunal Shah of Cred, every single person swears by growth, swears by hunger for growth, swears by that upskilling need and the reskilling need and the hunger for learning. Unless you are very hungry to learn, unless you are very, very keen on upskilling yourself, you can't survive in this world because things are changing at a very, very rapid pace compared to what it was even a few years back. The advent of AI is changing every single paradigm that we know of. So the question is very, very simple. Are you hungry for growth? And is that hunger for growth resulting in your hunger for reskilling and upskilling yourself? To what extent are you doing that? What is the amount of time you are allocating for yourself in learning and relearning new important skills? Are you scanning the horizon in terms of what are the skills which are emerging? What are the technologies which are emerging? Are you very, very keenly watching the horizon in terms of what is emerging and therefore ready to skill yourself? Are you allocating time for that? Are you allocating time for your team to learn? Are you pushing your team and people who are hungry for growth to learn and relearn things that they have forgotten? Or are you a person who says that I have learned it all? My education stopped with college. Then your hunger for growth won't matter. You will not grow. So, my third point in the list of enablers is very, very simple. Your hunger for growth should result in your hunger for relearning, upskilling, and learning on every single day basis. You should have time in your calendar. You should have allocated and ensure that your learning is visible to everyone and your learning is very, very clearly accumulating over a period of time. And you are learning by upskilling, you are learning by reflection, you are learning not only for yourself, but also you are pushing your team to learn. So that's number 3 in the list: relearning, upskilling, and learning on a continuous basis. Number 4 in my list of enablers is networking and reaching out to people. Networking, networking is a very much abused word. It has come to mean that you attend networking functions and you reach out to people on LinkedIn and exchange cards, exchange your contact numbers and contact details, and that is not what real networking is. Absolutely not. Real networking is reaching out to people who have similar interests, reaching out to people who are having very different interests, reaching out to people who are in your industry, and also reaching out to people who are outside your industry to ensure that you learn from all of these people, to ensure that you contribute to their learning in this network. It is a place where you give, you share, and then because you have given, because you have shared, you get a right to take back from the network, and the network will give you back. And people, when they know you, and when they know you reasonably well, are there to help you. But only as long as you are ready to help the network people willingly first. So as people say, it is not what you know which matters in the corporate life, it is who you know which matters. Yes, one phone call, one email can change lives. From the right place, right person, the right time. Yes, I know this person. Yes, I have worked with this person. This person is fantastic and he's the right candidate for you. Can change the life for you, can make you move in the corporate ladder. It has happened to me. It can happen to you. But have you made the right friends? Have you networked with people? Have you contributed to the growth of their teams, their requirements? All of that is what would matter in today's world. People remember everything, and companies remember everything. How good you have been, how well you have contributed to the success of the team, and how well you integrated yourself with the different teams that you worked with. All of that would matter. And are you in touch with your former colleagues? Are you in touch with your former bosses? Are you in touch with your former mentors? Are you in touch with your former clients, vendors? And are you sharing hi hellos? Are you sharing useful information with them? Are you helping them in some way or the other so that the universe can come back and help you when it is the right time for you? And yes, networking is the number 4 point in my list. Number 5 in my list is the ability to adapt and be resilient. In the VUCA world, which changes every day, you will face lots of challenges.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
It will grind you to a pulp, it will push you to the ground and make you stay there if you are not resilient. There are tons of people, so many people who have beaten all kinds of odds to rise from those ashes. Or you having that resilience? Do you have that adaptability? Do you have the willingness to come back? Do you have the strength in you to get up when life forces you to the ground? That would matter. That is what is called as grit. Do you have that vision? Do you have that reason why you should get up every day in the morning and go after what you want to do? Do you have that passion burning in you to prove yourself? Do you have that passion burning in you to push your teams? Do you have that passion burning in you to push everybody around you to reach where you think you can reach? And the whole question is, can you accept those failures and still move on? Can you accept those failures, learn from them, and get up from the ground to move on? Can you take up those punches that life is throwing at you and still, while you are staggering, still get up and move on? How disciplined can you work? How consistently can you work? Consistency beats everything. Can you come back to work every single day? Can you get up in the morning every single day? Can you, and do you have the discipline in you to stay put in the course of action every single day, irrespective of what happens to you? You may feel tired, you may feel bad, you may not be well, but do you have that energy in you? Do you have that burning desire in you to come back and put that hours of work on a consistent basis every single day? If you want to be at the top, if you want to beat the odds, if you want to survive the turbulent times that we are living in, you don't have a choice but to be consistent. Consistent work beats talent. Consistent work beats everything else. You may not be as talented as so many other people who are there, who are working with you in your company, but if you're consistently working hard, you will beat them. And that's what life has shown us repeatedly, time after time. People who are less talented beating people who are more talented just by sheer dint and the discipline and the consistency of their work ethic. The question is, do you have that work ethic in you? Can you stay focused? Can you remove distractions? Can you continuously, single mindedly work on what is your passion and continue to learn, to upgrade yourself? And keeping unwavering focus, can you bring the discipline along with that, your A work in the workplace? All of this is going to matter. All of this will ensure that you are seen as a person who has that hunger for growth. That hunger for growth has to be shown as a discipline and work ethic. Are you ready to show that? Are you ready to show it every single day? Every single business honcho who has ever shown to the world that they can do has gone through this grind. Whether it is Elon Musk, whether it is Jeff Bezos of Amazon, whether it is Sundar Pichai of Google, whether any one of the Indian entrepreneurs who have proven themselves, whether it is any one of the global entrepreneurs who have proved themselves, have that great work ethic, have that great discipline, which prove to the world that they are hungry for growth, which prove to the world that these guys are capable. The capability comes only when you have that strong work ethic. And that is why work ethic and discipline is number 6 in my list of enablers. Number 7, the last one of enablers that I'm going to talk about is communication skills. The ability to speak, the ability to write, the ability to listen and listen well so that you are able to communicate, tell others what you have in mind. You are able to communicate and show others what you have in mind by writing. And you can understand what people are telling you by listening. All of these three important trinity, speak, write, listen, is there in you. This is going to be a huge enabler in the midst of all kinds of chaos which is happening in any company, in the midst of all kinds of things which go on in any company. Unless you have the ability to communicate well by all three means, by speaking well, by writing well, by listening very well to others, you are going to be finding it very, very difficult. But if you have that ability, I'm not talking about speaking in English. I'm not talking about writing in English. I'm talking about in any language that you're comfortable with, any language that you do business. If you have the ability to speak well, write well, listen well, you are on your way to greatness. And every single business leader has proven that these three sub abilities of communication, speaking, writing, listening, are all absolutely critical. Not very easy to grow these skills, not very easy to sharpen these skills, but people have done that. You can do it too. We all learn these communication skills as young children, but somewhere along the way we give it up. We focus on reading and writing, not so much as speaking and writing to communicate. We write to pass exams, we speak to answer questions in the class, and somewhere along the way, we give up the ability to speak so that we can mesmerize people. We lose the ability to write so that we can communicate ideas to people. And somewhere along the way, we stop listening completely. But these three skills, speak, write, and listen well, are going to be absolutely critical for you to become a leader. But when you have all of these enablers, nobody can stop you. It becomes very, very easy for you to rise up in the ladder, not only in this company, but in any company. You become absolutely indispensable. You become somebody who the company cannot do without. You have to be there because you become the life force of the company. You have to be there because you are able to unite teams. You have to be there because you are able to charge the team with that energy that the team needs. So go ahead, think about all of these enablers and figure out how is it that you can grow in all of these enablers. Ensure that all of these seven are there in you and you are able to bring them, showcase them every single day to the company so that the company believes that this person is going to be the future leader for my company.